Hey guys, what's up? It's been a long time going this year, but finally got around to doing the behind the scenes look at my 2013 Christmas display. So there you go. 18,000 lights, 70 hours to set up. Lots of work, lots of time, but it's worth it in the end. I guess first thing we'll start here with the mailbox. I think there's something like 600 lights on here. No, I kind of forgot. I have to go look at a sheet I wrote down on, but all LEDs on the mailbox, so you know, saving power, which I really need to with 18,000 lights, but that's besides the point. These are M6, these are C6 LEDs, and these are the M5 minis, and I actually like these better because they're brighter. Keep going here. I got the garland around here with the dome style weaved into it, and then these I just wrapped on after the fact because I had extra lights. And then a bow on the front. For these lights, I didn't make any fancy base, just took them right to the ground with stakes. I made those out of, I think they were fence ties that, you know, you tie a chain link fence to the poles with. I believe that's what that was, so I just cut out a bunch of pieces. Here at the top, at the piece of wood, I put some hooks, so, you know, hook the lights too. And that also serves as a purpose, if you see, for a brace for the arch. Fishing line doubled over 4 times, 15-pound strength. And I guess getting to the arch here, the soldiers are new this year. They're just zip tied to it. Like everything else is zip tied around here. I used something like 350 zip ties this year. And on the arch itself, there are 300 lights, 4 strands of white, 2 strands of red. The bells, they're zip tied up there too. Got those from my great aunt. She didn't want them, they were too big for what she needed them for, so I got them. And then the wreath on top was, I had that above the porch last year, but you know, got to change it up. So after the lights, I put garland around it. I probably should have spent more time wrapping it because it's not very even, but it was whatever. Hopefully this year when I take it apart, I can just take the sections apart. And speaking of what it's made out of, electrical conduit PVC, electrical PVC conduit, 3 pieces put together and slipped over 1/2 inch. Electrical conduit that's hammered into the ground probably about 2 feet so it doesn't move. And you know, it's pretty stable actually. First when I put it up, I didn't have any braces at the top and it was laying back like 2 feet. So I tied one, I don't know if you can see it here, to the basketball hoop. Where is it? There it is. And yeah, that's about it for the arch. I guess over here while we're at the basketball hoop, I got a LED polar bear. He's a little faded, but at night you can't even tell. He's just attached there with black, I use all black zip ties because you can't see him, and sorry for the wind. This is just net light I had laying around, and I've done that for a few years. And at the top I just zip tied everything in the shape of the basketball hoop, and it gives a nice effect at night. And then got 12 candy canes total on the driveway, 6 on each side. Actually, I think 6 of those are new because I found them for like $1 after Christmas. Anyways, I guess I'll get over here. Now, if you haven't seen my nighttime video, I suggest you take a look at that because it shows like here you can't even tell, but I got lights strung way up in the tree, like 20 foot up there. And essentially, what I did, the one is way up there, you can't even tell. I'll probably throw an image on the screen here of it, but essentially I threw it up there with a basketball tied a fishing line to it, and when I brought it down, here's the fishing line. It's tied to this stake at the bottom, which is actually I had it there for these lights, but doubled it, and all I have to do is cut that and like the big tall thing comes down. And then on each tree on both sides, those are actually the neighbors' trees, but they let me use them because I ran out of space. I have lights wrapped around it. They're just have 200 minis. That's essentially that. And then for the cords for actually those drape lights, it was after the fact, so the cord is just kind of hanging here. So, and my little mash of boards anyways. I try to keep things neat. As you can tell, like cords I try to keep grouped together. Sometimes you can't get around that, so that's that. A little tree there that I had laying around, so I'm like, I'll stick it there. Okay, for these two trees, I'll probably just go over one because they're both the same in general. These are LEDs. I'm not sure, I think these are the C6 size, but warm white color. I don't really like the color, to be honest, but I had them, so I used them. I'm thinking this was a 7-foot L bracket I had laying around. I hammered it in the ground enough till it was sturdy. Put a little bolt up there with a little thing head on the end, and zip tied them once they were all on, and staked them right to the ground like I did the mailbox, and that's how that goes. These little trees, pretty straightforward. They go on a slave in the ground. Now for blow molds, everyone always had a problem with them falling out, right? Because they're light. Well, I found a really simple way to combat that. Inside, I'm not going to take it off the show because it's awkward for me to do it, but there's a pole. You can use metal, PVC, wood, whatever you want to use. Just stick it through the hole in the bottom of the blow mold, and it will rock, yeah, but it won't fall over. That's the good thing. Okay, I'll only go over one of these 10-foot trees because the other one's way over there, right there. But I built them the same exact way, same amount of lights. One's white and one's red and green. So essentially what it is, it's 1.5 inch PVC pipe. I should have painted it, but these are white strand lights, so I just left it. And under that I have 1.25 inch EMT conduit, metal stuff. And it just slips right over really nicely. It didn't really need guide wires, but I put some because this year I'm glad I did, because we had really high winds. Like a week after I put those up, along with the big one, we had like 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it held up great. On the bottom here, I have just 1/2 inch PVC bent around. I think there's 2 pieces. And at the top, there's just a bunch of hooks installed, and I folded the lights in half because it's only 10 foot, and that was a good thing about a 10-foot tree, because you didn't have to, do anything fancy with lights. You just brought them straight down, and we just got a bunch of rain, so once it dries out, I'm going to blow those leaves out with the blower. But anyways, already went over the other tree. It's the same thing, but didn't have as many lights, so I did half a tree. That guy's put in the same way as that one. Blow up polar bear. Trying to get away from the blow ups because they make it look junky a little bit. Anyways, the bench here, all I did was I have 200 or 300 green lights just wrapped around it any way I could, and got some extra candy canes from a friend this year. She gave them to me, and they're just zip tied there, and it's all plugged in, and cables and whatnot. And then Santa, and these are actually C7 bulbs. Some of them, when I was putting up, the clip broke because it was cold, and it was a last minute deal, but for most of them I just used the built-in clip, and for ones that it's not big enough for most people to notice. Wreath, found that for $1 at a garage sale, well, church sale, and that's a good deal in my opinion. It's a big wreath. Slapped 200 blue lights on it. Actually, blue lights all around here. I think I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500 blue lights in this one area around the garage. And over here, I just doubled up a strand of blue lights from there to a nail at the bottom there. And these were chasing white lights because I wanted more regular, other than just blue, because blue is hard to look at. Soldier, he's just sandwiched between the brick wall and the flower pot. Over here, I just tuck the white lights in. You can do that with like any house basically, as long as you're comfortable with it. I mean, it's up to you. What I didn't do was, you can put like pieces of mulch in there, like guy on the next street over, that's what he did. I shoved mulch in there, and it keeps it safe, because like at the bottom it curves off like that. Have music this year out here, and there's Yamaha speaker, $1 at the garage sale. Little tree, and it's just sitting there. Don't know what to do with it. And Santa. For the garland around here, basically all I did was put it on over after the fact and zip tied it to it, and big blue lights. Of course, baby Jesus, Joseph and Mary. I think it's only like a half a bale of hay. I saved a brand new one from Halloween to make the hay look fresh, but in a few days time it doesn't even matter anyways. Dad and I actually built the stable from scratch. It took a little bit to figure out the measurements, but once it got built, it's been here for, let's see, 4 or 5 years now. Haven't restained it, which I probably will coming summer or whatnot. Yeah, and out the bottom on these, I just have it staked to the ground so it don't move. And in the back, there's a hole drilled for the cords, so they're not right on the side. And here is actually my angel, I guess it's an angel pole. I want an angel behind it, so took some electrical PVC conduit, stuck it over a big metal stake that probably comes up to about here. It's real skinny, so tied a bunch of lights to it, and yeah. I also have lights going around here that look really good at night. This is my train. Just have it staked to the ground, out of the box, put it out, plug it in. This is all new right here this year because, well, last year we didn't have the garden, so installed this lamp post in the spring and then wrapped just a bunch of lights around it with garland, and there you go. I have green lights in there from Halloween still. They still work for Christmas. And each of these little bushes, I was expecting them to grow, but they each have 60 LED bulbs on them. Just the same style it's like on the mailbox. 3 wooden candy canes. I have a 4th one, and also around the whole frame of each side of the yard, I have same color LEDs that was on that tree right there. I just have them staked every so often so they don't move and go around the whole yard. Get to that mega tree in a second. Deer, I think I got them from Walgreens. They weren't that much. Little deer. I have more, but the lights went out on them, so I'm like, whatever. Less is more sometimes. Got Mr. Chubby Reindeer here. He's actually staked with rebar, and I just zip tied him at his feet down there, and he stays up rather nicely. In case you guys didn't notice already, I won best overall at the city decorating contest. Drove around, didn't see any more signs, so I assume I'm the only winner, which is good. Thumbs up. So yeah, of course they put the sign out like Thursday. It's now Sunday. I had to wrap blue lights on it, of course. Why would I not have lights on it? I mean, come on. I think there's 600 lights on this bush and 700 on that one. I don't really remember. But just white mini lights. Over here, this is something everyone seems to like, is the tree line. If you want trees, buy them after sale. Those were $5 each at Walmart. I mean, come on, it's only 30 bucks. Well, 3 of them I paid 10 for because I didn't want them to sell out of them. The other 3 I bought for 5. So, what's that? 45 bucks. Not that bad. You can buy 1 for that price. So this year they've been sitting in the garage all summer and spring, and finally got them out and fold them out like you put up a Christmas tree in your house. No different, except I took the bases off of them and I just slipped them over 1/2-inch rebar. It fit perfectly, and actually the guy who does lighting up, Paxton, I got the idea from him actually. He did the same thing, same trees from Walmart. He got the pre-lit ones, but either way. Slipped 500 lights on each. There's 3 yellow and 3 green. It looks really good. Just make sure to check out the nighttime video, see what they look like. 5 presents there and however many presents there to make it have a little extra. Here's my 8, I think it's 8, a little over, it's like 9-10 foot with that on it, but essentially I had extra LED lights left over, so I this is actually my 8-foot tree that was over there last year. If you're following my display, you'll know what I mean. But essentially EMT conduit inside plastic, and I just hammered the EMT conduit into the ground and slipped that over, and coupling there, and it's 3/4 inch, And then those lights I just basically hooked around the top. I put some hooks around there, brought it right to the ground. Simple, and it looks pretty good. It's really bright because they're pure white LEDs. Now I don't like the cool white that much. The pure white's where it's at. Over here on the bushes, 1200 lights between both, so 600 on each bush. Big bushes, I know. Just net lights, you know, pretty simple, straightforward. For these, I put these in a different order this year, but it's actually ribbon light turned on end, you know, hung vertically instead of horizontally. But I put, there's white lights on each of the roots, and those are red, green, and blue, and the red lights are only work in the middle, so that's why I put them there. Blue lights around windows, and actually I hooked it at the top with like light clips that you would hook to siding, and brought it to the ground with stakes, and that keeps it in place. And then for the roof, C9s, they're bright. I need to replace them because they use 700 watts. Holly, I think that's the holly. Angel and the mistletoe. Nothing in the windows. I might change that next year. Okay, well, here is the big mega tree. Well, it's only 15 foot. I want to go 25 foot, if not 30 next year, if ever possible, with funds. You know, so 30 foot be twice high. That'd be pretty cool. But either way, 2,500 lights, including the star. It's actually, I should have used metal pipe, I know, but it's 1/2 inch reduced to 1/4 inch PVC up there. Now I don't have a pulley head for this, which is kind of a pain, because that means you gotta attach all the lights before you put it up. Now, you know, when it's plastic that bends, it makes it even more difficult. Got a Jimmy Holiday light show I never use that's hooked to it, and essentially that's it. I have 8 guys coming off of it. 2 dog stakes from Home Depot, and this is 20 gauge. I'm thinking it's 16th inch, maybe something 32nd inch. I don't know. But it hooks at the 10 foot mark and then the 15 foot mark, and I built that star. I have a tutorial on my channel how I built that, so check that out. And it comes 4 things, and then the base is just 2x4s stacked, and I slip the pipe in the middle, and it keeps it from moving, and 1/2 inch around there, and attach the lights all with zip ties like I do that tree and then that one right there. Actually, I have a tutorial on how I built those if you want to check that out too. Now, this is the ugly part of all this stuff. Like, yeah, it looks good, but you get back here, you have a rest. That's the cords. Of course, it's behind the garage, so you don't see it. The only thing, this is what I use from audio. It's an old receiver. Only runs in mono, but who cares, right? My old Nokia phone actually plays the songs. I can make playlists on it, so that's why I use it. Plugs into the receiver. It's up about 4 out of, it looks like 10 there. And I don't want it too loud, obviously. But the only problem here is the phone has to be charged the whole time. So I had to figure out something where the wireless remotes, which there's one, because my grandma can turn them on and off from inside. Phone has to be charged, but yet it has to turn the receiver on. So I took the main power cable here in the garage, plug my phone into it, then plug the remote into that, and then that turns on the power strip, which just runs out to the mega tree in the roof, soldier right here, receiver, and then the blow up bear on the front porch. And that's just extra cable that goes nowhere. Well, it goes up there, but don't go anywhere in here. Cables. Actually, this right here I did cover because we had gobs and gobs of rain the past 2 days. And actually last night the lights had to go off at 9 because they kept tripping this breaker over here. Anyways, guys, that's my look behind the scenes this year. If you have any questions, just ask. Make sure you look for that nighttime video as well. I'll have up. That'll actually be up first, so check it out here. The link will be at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Peace. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.